exploitation. So these are the causes for the destruction. So we can say in short, natural disasters is nothing but which causes great damage or loss to life. So what would be the effects due to the natural disasters? What happens? It affects or you cannot expect. So the effects may be loss to the life, loss of financial resources, property loss, personal injury, physical damage, loss of resources, no access to shelter. So these would be the effects due to the natural disasters. What happens? First is the loss of life. Many people might die. Loss of financial resources which are helping for our livelihood. Property loss. Next, asset. Next, personal injury, physical damage. And loss of resources, natural resources. And no access or we cannot have proper shelter due to what? These natural disasters. Now we shall see the meaning of earthquakes. Earthquake is the sudden trembling or shaking of the surface of the earth. So an earthquake is nothing but a sudden change or sudden trembling or shaking of on the surface of the earth. We call it as earthquake. Next, children, about flood. An overflow of a large amount of water. So, an overflow of a large amount of water beyond its normal limits, actual limits, when the water flows, especially during rainy, we could have experience, that is flood. Next is droughts. A prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall. A prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall means an area which does not receive actual average rainfall what it has to be received is not being received in a year. Due to that, what happens? It leads to a shortage of water in that area or in the state. Then the land becomes dry. These we can call it as drought. So due to when an area gets less than its actual average rainfall, due to this the land gets dry up and you cannot grow the crops properly or any plants over it. So we can call it as drought. Is cyclone. A strong or system of a wind that rotates at low atmospheric pressure at a speed of 20 to 30 miles. In the sense 30 to 50 km per hour brings heavy rain. This is cyclone. And a storm is nothing but a disturbance which occurs in the atmosphere which will be due to the pressure of the wind or by rain or snow or thunder. So students, an earthquake is the vibration of earth produced by the rapid release of energy. Energy is nothing but it will be in the form of seismic waves. So an earthquake is occurred due to what? Vibration or the shaking of the earth which will be produced or which happens due to the rapid sudden change release of the energy in the form of seismic waves. So how we can find out? The focus or epicenter. The location within the crust. The earth consists of three layers. Crust, mantle and core. The topmost layer is, we call it as a lithosphere. So the topmost layer is the crust. So the location within the crust where the rocks which is under the crust felt unstressed, also called hypocenter. We call it as focus or the hypocenter. So we can say the point inside the earth where the earthquake starts is called focus. Epicenter is the point on the earth's surface directly above its focus is called epicenter. So dear students, the study of earthquakes waves is called systemology. So the person who is going to study about these work and the scientists who work in this field, we are call it as systemologist. How the weather, climate they are going to study. In the same way, the person who is going to study about this, how the earthquake happens, where it happens, at what kilometers it happens, with which Richter scale. So all these will be studied by the scientist, and the person we call it a seismologist. And the study of earthquakes waves is called seismology. So dear students, in today's class, what we learned was meaning of natural disaster, kinds of natural disaster, meaning of earthquake and effects of earthquake. In the next class, we will study in detail about earthquake and what are the measures or the safety measures we have to adopt during earthquake in the next class. Thank you.